Ugly Mug Marketing followers, friends. How are you doing today? It is the day after Memorial Day. Hopefully you'll be able to get back into work, get back into the office, or continuing to work from your kitchen table, wherever you're tuning in from. Welcome this morning. My name is Hannah Costa. I'm the social media manager here at Ugly Mug Marketing. And today we are going to be doing a quick 45-minute, 30-minute, however long I talk for, and then open it up for question webinar on how to get leads using Facebook's lead generation tool in Ads Manager. And I am so excited to be here with you all today, talking about all of the awesome stuff that we've been doing for our clients and how we are getting them results. We are going to be walking through a few different key things. So first thing, we are going to talk about the audience. Who should you be targeting? Who should you be trying to reach out to based on your business? How do you find those people? And how do you even determine who those people are? Lots of questions around that. So we're going to talk about that first. Second, we're going to talk about what should your ad look like? What kind of copy should you be using? What kind of images should you be using, or should you be using video? All those things. We're going to be chatting about that. We're also going to walk through a live example. I'm going to run through setting up a lead generation campaign and use one of our actual clients as an example today. And then after we go through that, we're going to chat about automation and our favorite tool here at Ugly Mug Marketing, which is Zapier, and how we use Zapier to make our lives easier and connect Facebook leads to the very tools that we use in our business every day, like MailChimp, Constant Contact, Google Spreadsheets, Gmail, all that great stuff. So, and then last thing we're going to talk about is any questions that you may have regarding all of this stuff. So any question that you may have, feel free to drop it here in the comments below on this live stream. I'm refreshing my feed here on my phone so I can see as those are coming in. And even if you aren't joining us live and you watch this in a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, even if you have questions, please know that we monitor and check our page regularly. So if you have a question later on down the road and you leave a comment on this video, I will make sure that we get back to you just as quick as we can. So without further ado, I'm going to jump in and get started here. I do not have a slideshow because, like I said, today we're going to be walking through a real life example of setting this up. So I'm just going to be sharing my screen with you for the majority of this presentation. Again, if you have questions or need me to further clarify something, please feel free to add those comments here in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and dive in. So first things first is when you're setting up your lead generation campaign and determining who you are going to be trying to reach, my first piece of advice for you is this. Think about who your ideal customer is. So this scenario is for somebody who you've just started your business, maybe you're just getting started setting up your first Facebook ads, and you don't really know who your audience is. So the opposite of this is you've been in the Facebook game for a while. Maybe you've never run ads, but you have an audience of, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 followers on your page. But we'll come back to that in a minute. If you are just getting started, my first piece of advice for you is imagine who your ideal customer is going to be. Whether you have a brick and mortar store that people are going to be able to come into eventually, depending on where you're living, or if they're going to be somebody who's coming to your website and shopping with you online or paying for a service. Maybe it's not a specific product that you offer, but maybe it's a service. Think about who that ideal person is going to be. And what I mean by that is this. Think about everything that makes that person who they are. What kind of books do they read? What blogs, what websites do they go to? Do they have kids? What is their education level? Are there other brands that they might be interested in that are related to yours, or maybe they're not related to yours? Things like that, because those are the very things that you can target in Facebook's Ads Manager. And when we walk through that specific example, I will show you how you can do that and all of the millions of options that you have for targeting. But very specific ones are age, whether they are male or female, their education level, again, those brands, books that they're interested in, what kind of iPhone they have, what kind of iOS system, whether they purchase on Facebook or have purchased on Facebook in the past, even if it isn't from your business. All of those things and more are things that you can use to target and find your ideal audience. Now, if you are somebody who is a little bit more well-established, like I said, maybe you have been in the Facebook game for a little while and you have 1,000, 2,000, however many followers you have, but your audience engages with you, okay? That's who I'm talking to now. Some really awesome tips for targeting when you're running lead generation ads for you are these things. Website visitors. So my first thing for you, whether you are new to the game or you've been in the game for a while, is having a Facebook pixel installed on your page. And everyone's like, what's a Facebook pixel? And my clearest and best example is this. When you go to Amazon and you put 10 million things in your cart, and then you go back to Facebook and they suddenly have an ad that shows you every single thing that you had in your cart, and you're wondering how they know that, it's because of a Facebook pixel. So any company that has a website can add a Facebook pixel onto their page. And what it does is this, is it tracks everyone who comes to your website, and it basically does it by IP address. And so it gathers all of that information and knows who that person is. And so that if you want to go back and target them on Facebook with an ad specific to something that they were viewing on your website, you can do that. It is a very, very valuable tool to use, especially during lead generation, because if someone has come to your website, checked you out that way, but they're not on your email list, or they didn't actually complete the form on your website, that's a great way to be able to retarget them and get in front of them. Next audience is people who like your page. You can target all of those 10,000 people that you already have. You can get in front of them using Facebook lead generation ads and targeting them in Ads Manager. You can also create an audience of people who have engaged with your page in the past, or who have engaged with your page in the last 30 days, 90 days. I think it goes up to 180 days in Ads Manager. That's a really important audience too, because those people are obviously interested in what you're saying, or maybe they've watched your videos, they've engaged with you in some way, they've sent you a message on Facebook. Those are also really important people that we'll want to be targeting for lead generation. Another one too is friends of people who like your page. I don't know if you've seen this ad before, but I certainly have, or it can be on the top of any ad really, but I will get ads for a brand like Lululemon, and it will have, I'll see it scrolling through my Facebook feed, and on the top bar, if I didn't already like the Lululemon page, it will say your friend Courtney and Heidi, those are my sister-in-laws, Courtney and Heidi like this page. So you can target people who are friends of people who like your page, because Facebook knows that if Courtney and Heidi like Lululemon, that it's pretty likely that I'm also gonna like Lululemon too, which of course I do. So that's another audience that you can target. Now, once you start building those audiences and running those ads to the people who are already engaging with you, already like you, or watching your videos, or that are friends of people who like your page, you can create what I think is like even more powerful for expanding your brand and expanding your audience and getting in front of new people that are in your market that maybe you haven't been in front of before. And that would be a lookalike audience. So what is a lookalike audience? A lookalike audience is basically when Facebook takes all of the people who have visited your website or all of the people who have engaged with you, and they go out and find more people who look like those people. So they try and find any commonalities within that whole bunch. And then they start to develop this lookalike audience of those people. And so that enables you to find more, maybe you're targeting moms between the ages of 35 and 45 years old who are interested in fitness and health and wellness. And you've already built that audience. Well, maybe we want to go out and find more people who look like that, but maybe they're not in Louisiana. Maybe they're in Illinois, or maybe they're in California, or maybe you're targeting the entire United States, or it could even be as small as I want to target the next county over, or the next parish over, as it is in Louisiana. You can do that using that really powerful lookalike audience tool. Next thing, just to take it a step further, even though it's not going to quite make sense yet until I jump into that example, is this. You can create a lookalike audience of people who have already completed your lead generation form. And I know some of you are tuning in and you're like, I don't even know, I don't even have a concept of what this form looks like yet, or how I'm going to be generating leads. But basically in Facebook, through this lead generation tool, you're collecting people's information through a somewhat customized template that we create directly within Facebook. And when somebody completes that form, hey, we've got a new lead, or we've got a new person on our email list. But even more powerful, we've got another person that we can add to that sample of customers or prospects or new leads who we can now create a lookalike audience of. Because if we're getting 10 people to fill out this form in a week, hey, I want to go and find more people who look like those 10 people so that I can continue to build upon this ad and all of these leads that I've already created. So that's what I've got to say about creating an audience and who you should be targeting. If you've been in the game for a little while, you should be reaching those people who you have already been reaching, who you have already been making touch points with. Even if you've run ads to them before, if you haven't run lead gen to them before, this is a great opportunity to reach out to them in that way, because they're going to be more likely to fill out the form because they're already aware of who you are. They're already somewhat familiar with you. And then taking those people and creating that lookalike audience to go find more people like them, that's going to be really powerful. And like I said, if you're new to the game and you're just getting started, creating what we would call a customer avatar and walking through who that person is. Do they have kids? Are they a parent? What age are they? All those different demographics. I have a really awesome customer avatar sheet, and I can drop that in the comment, or if you want that, let me know in the comments below. And after this live, I will personally message all of you and make sure that you get a copy of that PDF. It looks really simple when you get it, but I promise you, going through and doing that exercise and really trying to narrow down and figure out who your customer is and who that ideal person is going to be tremendous help to you and your business, especially as you're getting started running Facebook ads in general, but especially Facebook lead generation ads. All right. I've rambled on enough about audience. The second thing we are going to talk about is the ad itself. How do you make a compelling ad that is going to generate leads for you and turn that somebody into a customer? So I am going to share my screen with y'all now, and we are going to walk through that very thing. Please ignore all of the things that I have here on my desktop. Does anyone else's desktop look like that? Because mine does. It's like every single download. I just feel like it's so much easier to find there instead of in a folder somewhere. But I digress. Anyway, back to your ad, what it looks like, the copy and the image. Let's talk about the copy first. So that is essentially the text, the caption of your Facebook ad. And what's super, super important, sorry, I'm glancing down here at my notes. What's super important is to figure out what is going to be important to the audience. What is going to hook them and get them to keep reading the next line, and then the line after that, and the line after that in your post. For some industries, short copy might be what works best. For other industries, it might be something that's a little bit longer form copy. This example that I'm going to walk you y'all through today is with our client, Southern Air. And this is longer copy. And we found that this works for them. But the way that we figured out that this works for them is by testing it. We ran countless split tests in Ads Manager, which it's super easy to do that. But we basically were like, okay, do people like long copy or do they like shorter copy? Does this headline work better or does that headline work better? Do we need to use a video or do we need to use a still image? Those are all things that you kind of have to learn as you go along. But my recommendation to you would be start off with what you think your customers want to see or what that they've told you that they want to see. It's very easy to to pull your customers on your Facebook page and ask them, hey, what do you want to see more of? And that can even help you with the next thing that I'm going to talk about, which is your incentive. How are you going to hook these people to give them or to give you their information to get on that email list or to get that exclusive offer? What is it going to be? And so for us in this example that I'm going to walk through with you right now, the incentive is really what it's all about. So Southern Air offers their tune up, which is usually $178. They offer it for just $69. And this offer is only valid for a certain period of time. So that is our hook for getting leads for them. And we do the same thing with several other clients. What is an incentive that is going to get your target customer, your ideal customer, in the door or to make a purchase or to want to inquire to learn more or to get on your email list? What is that thing going to be? And Southern Air over time, even before working with us, has learned that this $69 tune-up, that is the hook for people. For others, another client that we're working with is a co-working space. And something that we're testing with them right now is offering a free week of working in their space. For you, maybe that's not realistic to give something away for free or to discount it this much. Maybe it's they sign up and they get a buy one, get one free offer, or they get 25% off their next purchase. Think about what's going to be incentivizing to them, not what's going to be incentivizing to you. You really have to kind of shift your perspective and think about it in the eyes of the customer. And it's this. Is that deal enticing enough? Is it good enough for me to want to sign up and give them my email address, give them my phone number, or whatever information it is that you're after? So for Southern Air, we use, like I said, a longer copy. And the incentive is this. We want you to experience the $69 tune-up service for yourself. But we're only going to extend this offer to you if you fill out this information and allow our team at Southern Air, I'm acting as Southern Air, our team at Southern Air to reach out to you and contact you to schedule your service or your appointment. So the way you get the deal is giving them your information so that they can then reach out to you. And it's super, super simple. And we'll kind of walk into what that form looks like here in just a minute. The next key piece is, what does the graphic look like? What is the imagery? Now, for some industries, and really it doesn't even differ for industry, but for some businesses, if they can get really good quality video, sometimes a video is what's going to work better. We just need something that is essentially going to quickly capture their attention. My recommendation for these lead generation ads, it might not be a 10-minute long video. It might have to be something that's a 30-second to maybe a 2-minute long video explaining the services or explaining why they should join your email list, or explaining why they should sign up for the offer that you're trying to give them. For Southern Air, we've learned over time that we need to have the incentive, we need to have the big offer that needs to be so clearly defined on the image itself. So this month, we're actually switching up their graphic a little bit. And this is actually the old version. Let me see if I can pull up the new version that we are working with. Let's see here. Nope. Here we go. All right. So we've realized that, like I said, we need to have that offer very clear right there on the graphic for people to be able to be drawn in and to see what it is, even if they're not going to read our super long copy there. It very clearly states what the offer is, how much it is, and then when that offer expires. And then we've got the Southern Air super cute polar bear here in the corner for people to see there. So that's the graphic that we're rolling with for this month for them. A couple of things that we did to land on this graphic, though, is we've had some version of a graphic that looks very similar to this. But one thing that we've done, both for the copy or determining what the copy was going to be and the graphic is going to be, is a really super secret fun tool called Facebook Ads Library. I guess it's not a secret anymore, but Facebook Ads Library is a tool where you can go and you can type in any other business across the country, or even if you don't have a specific business on the top of your head, but you just type in heating and cooling, it'll start pulling up pages and pages of the 160 million people or businesses that have pages on Facebook. And you can click on any of those and you can see the exact ads that they're running at that very moment. You may even be able to see a few that they had run in the past, but for the most part, it only shows you what is currently running on their page. And we find that very helpful in our office for a couple different reasons. One, sometimes my brain gets absolutely fried and I cannot think of a good idea to save my life. And so I just need to see what other people are out there in the industry are doing. And especially helpful if they're not in the market. So I'm not copycatting, the people that are right down the road or anything like that. I'm just trying to see, what are other people doing? Are there commonalities across the copy? Are all heating and cooling places using longer copy, or are they all using square images? Are they all using video? Those are the things that I'm looking for. And that is, like I said, a very, very helpful tool. So if you just Google search Facebook Ads Library, and I can drop the link to that here too at the end. If you drop that in there, you'll be able to see, click on there, type in your industry or type in your competitor or someone that you know that's in a different market. And you can see, like I said, all of the ads that they're currently running right now, which is really cool. So how do we create these graphics though? We get asked that a lot. A lot of people think that you have to have, Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator or, all of the, some fancy editing tool. And I am here to break that myth for you. And though we use that for some of our clients, if we have something that's a little bit more complicated graphic design wise, we certainly use those tools. But if you're just getting started, or if you just don't have the time to go in and learn Adobe, which is very time consuming, our free tool that we use is called Canva. And you can use the free version of Canva, or you could pay just $12 a month to get Canva. And no, this is not an ad for Canva. We do not get any kickback if you sign up for a Canva account. But what I can tell you is that this has been really, really helpful for us as we are creating the graphics and even the videos to go along with all of our clients' ads. So Canva is super easy to go in here and change the text. I can upload a font if there's a specific font for a client. I can select from 1,000,001 other fonts that they have in here. You can change the colors. Obviously, they have 1,000,001 stock images that are free, but they also offer $1 images for you to be able to purchase too. So you can type in just about anything and Canva will bring you up a gorgeous stock photo for you to be able to use. You can upload your logos here as well. So I have a folder that is specifically for Southern Air, and I can add, like I said, any of their photos or logos or pictures that we're wanting to use. And then another really cool feature too, if you don't want to create your design from scratch, is they have a bunch of templates for you to very easily create a graphic, a video that looks very professional, but without all of the hassle of trying to be really creative on your own, especially if that's not your strong suit. Canva will be your best friend. So for Mother's Day, example, they had all of these like cute videos and graphics and things that you could just quickly, easily add that here and then go and click download and then upload it to your Facebook page. So highly recommend using Canva for your Facebook and Instagram and really any other social media needs. We've even created PDF documents that we've shared with our clients in here as well. So again, canva.com. I can drop the link to that for you as well. And if you have any questions on getting set up or creating your graphics or how it works, it is super user-friendly, but I'm also more than happy to help and answer any of those questions that you may have. All right. Next thing that we're going to chat about, which I know is the big thing that you have all been wondering about, is how do you actually set up these ads? But before you do that, like I said, knowing who you're going to be targeting and who your audience is, figuring out what your initial ad copy, what the caption is going to be, and then figuring out and designing or letting Canva design your ad for you. Those things are super important. You cannot get started in these next steps without having done those things first, because it'll make the next step go a lot smoother. So I am going to hop over here into Ads Manager. So if you have never seen this before, this is Facebook's Ads Manager. This is a free tool that you can use to target your audience and create really awesome ads that are aimed to help you grow your business. And in this instance, like we're talking about today, to get leads. So I have drafted a test campaign here. So essentially what you do is you hit this create button here and then type in, for the sake of this example, I'm going to say test. The campaign objective that I'm going to select is lead generation, because we are trying to get people, for this example, we are trying to get them to sign up for the Southern Air $69 tune-up. Then I'm going to shut off. I'm not going to do any A/B testing because we've already tested in the past. I already know what works. And I'm going to scroll down here, hit copy this name, type in test here, and put test here as well. Then I'm going to hit save to draft. And then hopefully this loads here quickly. All right, so now it has brought me to my campaign. So I'm gonna scroll down here. Right here, let me. All right, so I'm gonna click edit and I'm gonna scroll down to this campaign objective section, and I'm gonna make sure that it says lead generation. Then I'm gonna go over here to this middle section. So the first section is called campaign. The middle section is called ad set. So your ad set is where you input all of that great information of who your audience is and all the demographics. This is when you select when you want your ad to run, when you want it to end, time frames, all kinds of great stuff. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to zip through this part pretty quickly. Just because I already know who I want to target specifically for this example. So for them, I'm just gonna make this up. We're gonna use a lifetime budget of $435. So there's a selection between daily budget and lifetime budget. Lifetime budget is what we typically recommend because daily budget can get a little carried away. Do I wanna spend $3 a day or $10 a day? Well, for me, I know today my budget is $435, and that's going to be for the entire month. Then if the ad isn't performing well or I'm not getting leads, then I can go back in there and easily shut the ads off. So I'm going to select lifetime budget. We can say the ad can start today and that we want it to end, let's see here, on June 30th. just a random day. Then next, I'm going to click here on the ad scheduling section. So if your company is not open on Mondays and you don't want to run ads that say, hey, come shop with us today on Mondays, you can very easily do that. So let's just say my store is only open from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Tuesdays through Saturdays, let's say. So you can select those very specific time points that you want your ads to run. In this example, and I feel like in the example of lead generation, initially I usually start with a 9 to 9 time frame, because really to fill out the form, no one needs to be available. I'm not asking them to go anywhere right that moment or anything with the ad. They could be just waking up and filling out the form. They could be on their lunch break and filling out the form, or they could be at home scrolling on Facebook while they're watching TV or before they go to bed, which I don't recommend personally. But we can run those ads during those times because we know that those are key times that people are going to be awake and that they're going to be on Facebook. And during this time, Facebook users have been up significantly. I don't have the specific stats for April, but I know that towards the end of the month of March, Facebook usage was up about 30%. And that was direct information directly from Facebook. So I can't even imagine what it's been like now in the midst of COVID and everything happening. People are maybe at home more and just killing time on Facebook. So we want to get in front of those people. So I'm going to say here, the ad is going to run from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. All right, now I already have a defined audience for Southern Air, but for their protection, I'm not going to share all the specifics around that audience with y'all today. But I just want to show you a little bit on how you can create those audiences of people who have engaged with you and setting age, gender, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to say we want to target the entire state of Louisiana in this example. So I'm just going to type in Louisiana. You can get so specific as to an address and target down to a 1 mile radius of that address. You can type in a zip code. You can type in a county or a parish and target that way too. So let's say I just wanted to target the greater Alexandria area, 71303. If I click on that, now it will bring me to a very specific kind of drawn out map of what that zip code looks like. So let's say though, yeah, we'll do 71301, 71303. Now I've got my audience defined now, or my location defined, but now I need to see who within that region is going to be seeing this. So there's a couple of different options. For this purpose, Southern Air is a local company that really isn't going to be servicing someone's air conditioning unit who was just traveling in the area, or somebody who was recently in this location because they were driving through to Texas to get back home. So we want to select people who are living in this location. Now, this would be true too for someone who, if you are a restaurant, yes, of course, there are going to be people who are driving through town and maybe want to sign up for your email list and get an exclusive offer immediately as they're coming through. But for you, those people who are going to fill out that lead generation form and get on your email list or sign up for that exclusive offer, those are going to be the people who live near you. And I think that's going to be true for many other people who have more of a brick and mortar store or a service where they're servicing a specific region or area. So in this instance, I'm going to select people living in this location. I know that for this in particular too, we target people who are between the ages of 25 and let's say 55 years old. Those are people who are probably going to be homeowners and who are going to be worried about their heating and air conditioning system running properly. They may even be a business owner, or it might just be, like I said, a residential, someone who owns their home and is going to be the one responsible for making sure that their AC unit or their furnace or whatever it may be is running properly. If I wanted to target specifically women here, I could, or if I wanted to specifically target men, you could do that also. And it will tell you what your potential reach hit is over here on the right-hand side. So it says that right now, within these 2 zip codes, with people between the ages of 25 and 55 that are male, I'm gonna hit about 1,000 people, but I'm gonna leave this all to all genders. So now I'm at about 25,000 people. Now, earlier when I was talking to you, or those of you who are just getting started in the game and don't really have that audience already built up, this is going to be really important for you. So let's say you are opening a boutique, and I always lean on the boutique reference. I really don't know why. But let's say you're opening a boutique and you're going to be carrying a certain brand in your store. And so you know that people who like this brand are going to be interested in signing up for your newsletter, or they're going to definitely want to get your exclusive offer in their inbox. So let's say you are going to be carrying the brand Sorel in your store. We know that Sorel probably already has a big following on Facebook, so we could type them in. Maybe we know that this audience also likes to read. And so maybe they're fans of Barnes and Noble. So I can select that interest down here too. Maybe we know too that that audience is interested in Kate Spade. Even if you're not going to be selling it at your store, we can select that interest as well. So then Facebook is going to, again, start kind of identifying who those people are and what that audience is going to look like. Now, within this zip code, it's telling me that there are less than 1,000 people, but I am targeting a very, very small area. But those are the kinds of things that you can type in here. You can even say, I want to target people who are specifically small business owners or people who are founders or CEOs. You can type in CEO. And then, or here, founder. And then you can select this section here that says job titles. So if that is their job title, then we'll be able, Facebook will build that audience for us, and we'll be able to target people specifically who like Barnes and Noble, Kate Spade, or Sorel, or they are a founder of a company. So these are all things that people over time, they either like pages that have to do with these things, they visited websites, they've marked where they work or their job titles on their Facebook profile. That's how Facebook gets all of this information. And it's really helpful for us as marketers to be able to target those people. All right, I'm getting a little carried away with this example. So I'm going to go ahead and X out of some of these things. And for this example, I know that people who are probably interested in heating and air conditioning, they probably are interested in Lowe's home improvement. They are probably interested in just home improvement in general. So I am going to select that interest. And then I'm going to do one more, and I'll say that they are interested in, we'll leave it at that for now. So Lowe's and home improvement. So like I mentioned earlier, you can also target people who already like your page if you have that big following. So you can select that here. And then I'm going to use their page, of course. So I've got that example there as well. You can also say friends of people who like your page. So, and then you type in your page there and it'll pull up. You cannot do this for other people's pages. So you can't run an ad and say, I want to target people who like my competitor's page. That's not how it works. It has to be people who like your page. If we scroll down here, or sorry, I'm going to go back up. I want to show you how you would go about creating those custom audiences that we were talking about there at the beginning, those website visitors, people who have engaged with your page, and all of that good stuff, and those lookalike audiences. So I'm going to click on custom audience here and show you just the different options that are available to you. So if you have a Facebook pixel set up on your page, you can select website and then select your pixel, and then you can choose people who have visited my website in the last 180 days, the last 30 days. You can even type in specific URLs. So if you want people who have visited the sales page or the information page or the contact page, you can target people with ads specifically based on what page they viewed on your website. Customer list. This one is super, super important for those of you who already have a lot of customer information from your people or already have a small email list already. You can click on this and you can upload that customer information. Facebook then will see if that person uses that same email address to log into Facebook. And if so, then you can target those people with ads. You can also upload phone numbers and all kinds of other stuff to target the people whose information that you already have. Another couple of cool ones that we use frequently are video. So if you've uploaded a video to your Facebook page and you have thousands of people or even hundreds of people who have viewed it, you can send an ad specifically to people who have viewed 3 seconds of that video, 50% of that video, or people who have watched the entirety of that video. You can also, like I said before, target people who have engaged with your Facebook page. You can target people who have visited your Facebook page before, people who have clicked on the call to action button on your Facebook page, people who have sent you a message, and people who have saved any of your Facebook posts before. So those are all really awesome tools. Of course, there are a couple others that I won't dive into right now, but the last one I want to chat about too is people who have filled out your lead form already. That is going to be a really crucial audience, especially after you get your lead gen ad up and running. All right, clicking out here and scrolling down here further. Placements. So initially, when you're starting out with ads, Facebook will default to an automatic placement. So your ads can show up in a sidebar, they can show up on Instagram, they can show up on someone's news feed. Do you ever see ads in the middle of a video while you're scrolling through Facebook and mindlessly watching cat videos or whatever videos you're watching? That's called the placement. So you can choose where your ad is going to show up. Do I want my ad to show up on Instagram? Do I just want it to show up in the middle of my Facebook feed? Do I want it to show up while someone's in the middle of their cat video? You can choose those specific things. My recommendation for you, though, is to select manual placements, because maybe I don't have an Instagram page, and so I don't want my ads to run on Instagram because I don't really have a presence there anyway. And maybe my target market isn't hanging out on Instagram. So we're going to actually remove that for this example. I'm also going to remove marketplace. So that's where people are going and, selling old gym equipment or things that they're trying to get rid of in their house. I don't want my ads to run there either. So maybe I deselect that. I'm also going to remove it from Facebook stories because I don't really want this ad to run there either. And it's not a video, so I don't really want it showing up in the middle of someone watching a video either. My primary ones that I want to use in this example are going to be my Facebook news feed, and then in articles. So if somebody is clicked on an article that they are reading because they were on Facebook and then there's an ad in the middle of that article, I want my ad to show up there. So that is all we've got here for the ad set. I've showed you where you can create those custom audiences, all those detailed targeting options. I've got my zip codes typed in here, my age range, when I want my ad to run, and I've set up my budget. So now I'm going to go and dive into setting up the ad itself and setting up the lead generation form. Hang on with me. I promise I'm almost done. So we're going to go down here. And I am going to take my text that I have already created and that I know works. And I am going to copy all of this. And I'm going to add it into this primary text section here. And then I'm going to click Edit Image. And I'm going to change the image, and I want to upload my new image that I have created. I'm truly taking y'all step by step, everything that I am normally doing here. So you get to see all my files. So we're going to let that upload. I'm going to select my image and then hit continue. And then that image will appear here. So let me go back up here to the top. So right now it says that I'm running it on the Ugly Mug marketing page. Of course, I would be running this on the Southern Air page. But again, for the sake of this example and keeping them safe, I'm doing this all as Ugly Mug marketing. So I've got my image here. I've got my headline here and all of my text. And so now I want to update my headline down here at the bottom. So I have learned that, again, just restating this exclusive offer here is what is going to work best. But I'm going to say, get our 178, oh, not 478, $178 tune-up for $69. And so that's going to be what somebody sees immediately. And again, it's showing you a little preview of what things are going to look like over here on the right-hand side. Then I'm going to choose my call to action button. So whatever it is that I want someone to do, so in this instance, I want them to fill out the form so that I can call them. But if I wanted them to subscribe to my email list, I would choose the button subscribe. So now I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to show you how we create a lead generation form and how you would do that directly here in Facebook. So we're going to click on create lead form. And I'm going to show you the different ways that you can customize this form and how you can make it work for you. So you would name your form up here at the top. I want to get as many people to fill out this form as possible and to get on my email list or to fill out an inquiry so we can call them and give them more information. So down here in the headline, I'm going to click on this $69 system tune-up. My image that I've got up here looks fine to me. They can still see that information, but of course you can change this and upload a new image that you want there too. If there's anything special information that they need to know, I would insert that here. And it can be very similar to the copy that you used in your caption before, basically like that big takeaway, whatever that is, that incentive for them. So for now, I'm just going to write test for the sake of our time here today. Then down here is where you can customize the questions that you ask or the information that you need from them in order for them to redeem that offer or to get on your email list. So we can ask for their full name and their email, but there's a variety of other pieces of information that you can ask for them. You can ask for their street address. You can ask for what city they live in, the state, their zip code. We've already got their name listed, but maybe if you didn't need their full name, you can ask for just their first name or their first and last name separately. You can ask them for their birthday, which comes in handy if you have some things automated in your MailChimp account or in your email marketing in order to send them a free offer or something exclusive on their birthday. We won't dive into that today because I could talk about that for hours. You can ask them about their job title, all kinds of stuff. But for today's example, we just need their full name, their email, and their phone number. So some of these things people already have set up on their Facebook page. So those things automatically populate here when they see the form, which is good for us because it's less work for them to have to actually fill out if their full name and their email address is going to pop up, and then maybe they just have to type in their phone number. Next things next, and this is incredibly important. Do not skip this step. You actually cannot move forward without this step, is setting up a privacy policy on your website and linking it here. So I'm just going to add a fake one again for the sake of this example. I'm going to add www.test.com so that the people who are filling out the form know that you're protecting their information and know that you're not going to sell it or share it with anyone else. This is very crucial to Facebook. They will flag you if you do not put a legitimate link to your privacy policy here. And it could prevent you from ever running a Facebook ad ever again. So it's really, really important step. The last thing here is your thank you screen. So you can customize what this message says. You can say, thanks so much. I think on the Southern Air one, we put, you're on your way to a cooler summer. You can say, we'll be reaching out to you soon, or stay on the lookout for follow-up from us, whatever it may be. And then on this button here that says view website, you can change this to call us or download. So if there's something off your website that they need to download prior to services or anything like that, you can do that here too. For this example, I'm just gonna leave it on view website, and I'm gonna type in ugly mug marketing.com. All right, so I have got that set up and my lead form looks exactly how I want it to look. So now I'm going to hit save I'm going to hit finish, excuse me. Oh, looks like I skipped something. Questions. Oh, get our 178 tune up. All right, so get our $178 tune-up by filling out this form. Sorry, I skipped that section. So now we are going to hit finish. And my form is complete, my ad is created. Now you're going to hit publish and you are going to let your ad run for the very first time. I recommend letting it run for at least a week before you make any changes. Depending on what your budget is, you may not be able to run it for quite a week. My recommendation would be to put $25 to $50 behind it and let it run for a week and see if you generate any leads. If you don't, you need to do some tweaking with your audience. You need to maybe reevaluate your imagery. You need to change your headline. But the important things are this, though, when you're making those changes. Only change one of those things at a time. Don't get too crazy. But you want to make sure that you are reaching those correct people. So that right audience for you is going to be, like I said, those website visitors, the people who already engage with you or like your page, for those of you who have been on Facebook for some time and already have that audience established. If you don't, maybe you need to establish more brand awareness in addition to running this campaign so that people feel comfortable giving you their information. But another thing when you're looking at your copy and your graphic is you want to make sure that you have that really good incentive and that you have an image that's going to make them stop and look and tells them exactly what they need to know. And in these examples, we know that this headline works and we know that this image works, but you won't know that for sure for your audience until you run those tests. But those key points are, for a good start, is that audience and having that incentive for your people. All right, so we run this ad and we get 10 leads in our first week. That's awesome. But when you generate those leads, typically they just go and live specifically in Facebook Ads Manager. They don't live anywhere else. You have to go in and you have to download them. And so that's where our automation tool of Zapier comes into play. So I am going to pull up what Zapier looks like and how we set this up for Southern Air. So when you go and log into Zapier, whether you're signing up for a free trial or you pay for their monthly membership, you're going to select create a Zap, and then it will bring you to this lovely screen here. So for this, we want to connect Facebook to email to spreadsheets. So we want people to, once they fill out that form, we want their information to specifically go, in this example, to the Southern Air team. So we want their team to get an email immediately after somebody fills out that form so that they can follow up as quickly as possible with that person to schedule their service. So in these different sections, you just follow the instructions. It's super, super easy and intuitive. So it says choose app. So you can connect pretty much anything to anything in Zapier. But for this example, we're connecting our Facebook lead ads. And we want the trigger event to be anytime somebody fills out that Facebook lead form, it's going to trigger these series of events. So we're going to select new lead. And then down here, we're going to connect it to our specific ad account. And then we're going to select their page and the correct form that someone's going to fill out. So your form might be called email list or whatever you name it in Facebook. That's what you're going to select here. And then it'll pull a test lead for you. You'll hit continue. And then you can jump into what you want it to be sent to, what you want it to go to. In this example, anytime somebody fills out that form for Southern Air, they immediately get that email for their team and their team follows up. So we're able to connect it to Gmail and they get an email that comes from me and it says, hey, Southern Air team, you've just received a new lead on Facebook. Here's their information. Let me know if you have any questions. And it sends that directly over to them. So I'm not going to open this up. So for the protection of myself too, and seeing all that email information, but that's where you set that up. Now, we also take it a step further and we have all of their leads dump into a Google spreadsheet form so that we have all of that information living in one place. It's safe. And then they take that and they can upload that into their systems as well. So that's where the automation piece comes into play. And this is super, super crucial. Especially if you are getting leads and you want your team or you want to be able to follow up with those people immediately, set this up just for yourself. It doesn't have to be going to anyone else. You can set this up to send yourself an email so that you know when those people are coming in. All right, so we've talked who you're targeting. We've talked about the ad itself. We've walked through the steps of setting up your audience, of setting up and creating that lead form. And we just walked through setting up the automation. The last thing that I wanted to talk about before we dive into any questions, and if no one has any questions today, that's okay. I have got a couple questions that we typically get. Oh, I see Katrina wrote, we love Canva. I'm just looking at all of your questions here. I see Steve's been on. Courtney said hi. That's my sister-in-law, soon to be sister-in-law. So what I'm going to dive into next is the importance of the follow-up. So you could set up this ad and it could be super successful and you could let all those leads just come to your inbox if you set up a Zap on Zapier, or you could be really successful having them get jumped dumped into your MailChimp account, which is another connection that you can make and set up in Zapier. But it doesn't mean anything if you don't follow up with those people. So it's important that you are following up with them, that you are picking up the phone and calling them if you're asking them for their phone number. When you call them, it's important to say, hey, it's Hannah from Ugly Mug Marketing. I see you're interested in our social media services and you filled out this form on Facebook. Because believe it or not, people are so confused sometimes when you call them, wait, what form did I fill out? I went on your website. Make it super clear and known who you are, why you're calling, and how you got their information so that you don't scare them, especially if it's the first time that they are being introduced to you and your business. Other things too. We always get asked, is this incentive enticing enough? I would tell you to test that with your audience. It's super easy to make a quick poll on your Instagram or on your Facebook account. Ask your audience, if we were to offer this, is this something that you would be interested in? Or ask them what a good incentive to them sounds like. I see boutiques and tons of other businesses that I follow doing this all the time. And that really is a valuable way, especially if you already have that audience built up. You can ask them that. Just this past week, we posted on our clients, Little Cakes with Big Attitude, we posted on their page, would you like to see curbside service? This was something that they were contemplating doing, but they're like, we don't know if our customers are interested in this. What's an easy way that we can ask them? And we made a quick poll. And I think in 2 days, we had like 60 some people vote. And I think 86% of them, last time I checked, were in favor of getting curbside service. But you can ask your customers a ton of different questions to help you build the best ad and the best incentive possible. Let me see here. No one really has any specific questions. I will definitely be sharing Facebook ads library with y'all because that is something that we actually, every time I mention that on here, we get asked about that a lot. And like I said, it is a great and wonderful tool to use to kind of do some research, see what other people in your industry are doing, whether they're specifically in your market or not. You can spy on your competitors if you want using that tool. Let me see here. I think that is all that I've got for you guys. I've talked for an hour. You are probably tired of me talking if you've watched this whole thing through. If you are going and setting up these lead generation campaigns and you have any questions, please drop those in the comments below once you kind of try and test this and do this on your own. If you want to send a direct message to the Ugly Mug Marketing page, I will personally answer those questions and try and help you to the best of my ability. Zoom is a wonderful thing, and you can Zoom with somebody, do a quick meeting, and have remote access of their computer. I think I just did this recently with Steve, who was tuning in when we were helping him with some stuff on his page. This, like I said, it is a great tool. Take advantage of it, test it, figure out who your audience is, determine what that key incentive is going to be. And I know that you will have success once you figure out that secret sauce for your business. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging in there with me over this past hour. It has been super fun. Sorry if I nerded out and got a little too in-depth on certain topics. I just want to be a help to you, especially during this time of COVID-19 and how it has dramatically changed the way that places are doing business these days. I watched really quick, I watched a Facebook Live from Mark Zuckerberg, and he said that 31% of small businesses have stopped operating. Which truly breaks my heart because that impacts the families of those business owners and all of their employees. And so we as Ugly Mug Marketing and me as Hannah, myself, the social media manager here at Ugly Mug Marketing, if I can be a resource to you in any way, shape, or form, please, like I said, do not hesitate to ask us questions in the comments. Just send us a message. You know, we want to help you as much as we possibly can. We want to be a resource to you. If you have any questions later on down the road, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you guys again soon.